Hello and thanks for joining me. My name is Jackie Jimerson and today I will be art journaling. So the journal that I will be using today is a beer book by Bad Jones Rising, and they're called beer books because of course the cover is made from beer cartons. So inside of the book are painted papers that Ronnie has done personally, and this is the page that I decided to work with. So if you follow me on Instagram, this lady should look familiar. It is a James Burke stamp, and I decided to follow the tip from Dina Wakley and pre-stamp a lot of the stamps that I have. So I'm slowly working through them, and I just stamped this one and colored her and cut her out. So I already have one layer down, that's the stenciling done in white, and my second layer is going to be this map that I downloaded off the internet and reversed it and printed it on deli paper. So the reason for me reversing the image is because I plan to transfer that image onto the journal page. And in order to do that, I will be using my handy dandy little mini iron. So this process only takes like a minute or two. Just depends on how hot your iron gets and how much time you spend transferring the ink, because it's a toner. Because the toner is activated through heat, it can be transferred off of the paper onto another paper. So that's what I'm doing here, and it gives a nice distressed look. And then there's still some toner left on the deli sheet, so either you can paste that sheet down or get the iron and transfer it again. So I also printed some text onto deli paper, and then I foiled it with white mink foil, the Heidi Swapp mink foil. And so they're the same words that are also printed on some sketchbook paper, some 90-pound, I think, might be 60, 90-pound sketch paper. And I decided to leave it on the carrier sheet just because it's easier to cut out that way. So I'm just figuring out which words I want, and I actually printed these out in black as well. So I'm just going to kind of go through and figure out whether I want to keep it in white, which is what I originally envisioned, or if it would look better in black. So I'm just going to cut out a few words and kind of go back and forth with that till I come up with something I like. Okay, so as you can see, I decided to go with the white graffiti words. I thought they would look better in the background. They didn't stand out as much, but you could still read them. And I'm gluing them down with matte gel medium from Liquitex. And this is going to not only act as a glue, but it kind of also makes the deli paper a little more transparent. In my last live video, I go through how I print on deli paper and techniques for taking it off the paper, off the carrier sheet. And also I experiment with tissue paper. And tissue paper does become more transparent than deli paper, but it's a little harder to get off. And I just really like the ease of working with deli paper. So that's what I've been sticking with mainly. I recently bought collage paper by Dina Wakely, and I'm going to take some time and experiment with that and see if that is easier to work with than tissue paper and whether or not it's more transparent as far as when it's glued down to the paper. So here we go. You can actually see through the words to the map and all the other elements in the different layers, so it's really wild at working with the deli paper. And so now I'm using the stamp that I recently bought from Top Flight Stamps. It's from a French company. I'm not going to embarrass myself by trying to pronounce the name, but the stamp is called The City. So I thought that was a good match for the graffiti text that I'm using and just the overall kind of grunge feel of the journal page. So I decided to put that in the middle and stamp it in Archival Jet Black so that the graffiti words are pushed back even further. And it didn't come out quite as dark as I had hoped it would, but it still looks good, so I'm okay with that. Definitely wasn't gonna try to stamp it again because we all know how easily that can become a fail. And so now I'm going to stick down my focal point, and I'm using a planner glue pen by Prima Marketing. It's a gel glue, and it was recommended by one of my Instagram friends, and I can't remember who recommended it, but it's an awesome gel pen, glue pen. It's not messy like a lot of glue sticks, and while it's wet, it's repositionable, but once it's dry, it's permanent. So it has a really, really strong bond to the paper. And I actually I'm not quite sure, but I don't think these are sold in stores anymore, so you might have to find them on a scrapbooking site or Amazon or something like that. So now I'm going to take Posca pen in black and just outline my focal point, just so she stands out even more from the background. And I don't know, for some reason, I always like my pages to be framed out. And now I'm splattering the page with Marabu acrylic spray in black. Like we've all done, you know, the paint and water and the little brush thing, and I'm so over that. So I was thinking to myself, wow, I have, you know, these spray bottles with acrylic paint in them. And of course, watching Dina over the past few weeks with her daily tutorials, you know, seeing her splatter with her spray bottles, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. So I dug my Marabu ink acrylic sprays out and brought them to my apartment. And hopefully that will save a lot of headache. And so now, of course, I need to give my queen here a crown. And I'm doing this in white because it's also serving as a way to break up that black background a little bit. And there you have it, my finished journal page. There's so many elements in here that kind of gives the city rural vibe. The scallops on the right kind of reminded me of underpasses and tunnels. I have the map in the background, the graffiti text, and just a little grunge work going on there. So let me know in the comments what you think, and thank you for watching. Bye.